Adieu by Poems Aloud. I turned away, I turned my back. I found a way, I can't go back. I left before, I changed my mind. I closed the door, I don't look behind. I wanted to, I didn't cry. I never knew I'd have no goodbye. I lost my fear, I found my feet. I dried a tear, I spurned defeat. I closed a door, I left my dream. I hope for more, I want to scream. So this is a poem that I have written recently, and I hope it's a poem that invokes, the message that sometimes in life you do have to leave situations, you have to leave certain people, you have to go forwards and move forwards, and sometimes it's not easy. We've just had one of the worst years in living memory, in recent memory. I mean, besides wars and things, we've never had a situation where in the world, the whole world was just in so much turmoil. And one of the things that I think has come out is the fact that there's been a lot of domestic violence because of the lockdowns. Well, not because of the lockdowns, but I think the lockdowns have increased the risk that these things have happened. And so sometimes you do have to just analyze the people that you have around you, whether it is family, friends, partners. Move away from toxicity. And we are starting a new year where hopefully you become renewed. I think when you make, either if you believe in resolutions or whether you're just somebody who believes in just making definitive plans, you do have to close the door on certain situations and certain people. This poem is supposed to represent, the journey about how you do sometimes have to close the door. You don't get the closure that you want. You just have to move on. So again, there is a certain amount of strength that is required to, make that decision and to put it into action. And I know you sometimes think, you cannot cry, but it doesn't mean you're not crying inside. So this poem to me represents quite a lot of things, and you don't have to ascribe it to love and, moving away from relationships, but to any kind of situation that is toxic in your life. So this is a poem that I have for you today. And the way I've written it is also, it just came naturally because I wanted to start every single sentence with I, to have that power of ownership, of feeling, of action. And then I'm someone who likes to put rhyme together, and it's kind of traditional poetry in a way. I enjoy it so much, and I like the musicality that comes with rhyme, and you'll notice that in a lot of my poems I tend to use rhyme a lot. And when you use rhyme, you can either make the first two sentences rhyme, and then, so two at a time maybe. But that's something I enjoy flipping with an alternative statement that is rhyming. And sometimes it doesn't work as well. I wanted also to have this brevity of the sentence. Sometimes I write poems with pretty long sentences and a lot of words, but I think I just wanted to keep them very brief and to the point, so that they just continue to invoke this crescendo of I, until the culmination. So despite everything, the poem ends with a certain level of loss of control where I want to scream. And there's so many reasons why one would want to scream. You're either bottling a lot of things inside, you've just gotten the energy, the motivation and the strength to leave a toxic situation, and then you're just holding it together. But at some point, despite everything, you can talk yourself, a good story, but you just want to scream. And sometimes you just need to scream because it can be a lot and it can be too much. So, anyway, so I'm hoping that, by talking a little bit more about my poems, you get to understand my thinking and why I write certain poems. And I might just talk through some of the poems. I think somebody did mention this to me a few months ago, but I never put it into action. I think I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I've now got a plan to sort of say the poem, because the poems are quite brief, to be honest, and I think I'm not getting a lot of views because for YouTube your poems need to be your videos need to be at least 10 minutes, and I just wanted to maybe have a discussion about the poems themselves and what they are about. So that's what I've decided to do, to obviously give a little bit more substance to what I'm writing and producing. So I don't know who is going to listen to this poem. I think if you are someone who listens to poetry, you are obviously somebody who can connect with me. So I hope you'll take the opportunity to subscribe to my channel, because I would appreciate that. I want to see this channel grow because it's an anthology of a lot of situations and emotions that I have been through and that I've thought through, and I hope that you will be kind and subscribe to my channel so that I can be motivated to keep going, basically. And the only other thing which I would also ask is that if you could leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of the poem and what feelings it invoked in you, or if it did so, that would be great. But otherwise, I'm going to sign out now and see you hopefully next time with another poem of mine. So this is Poems Aloud. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, adieu.